Excuse the disorganization, but originally in my other videos, I was not happy with the color in my other videos. And this is why I had up here, just a standard 2-tube fluorescent. Actually, this one is actually, this tube is failing, and I just wasn't going to put more tubes in this because the spec is really bad. Then I bought these, I bought 2 LED lights, and they're wonderful lights, but they're a little glary to look at. I also tried to mount them on this board so the light comes down here, bounces off here, goes back up, and so forth. And the idea is that it would diffuse a little bit. I was still not happy with my lighting solution. And then I was walking home, not even 4 days after I bought the LED light strips, and I found this. And it's one of those little ceiling mount light things for fluorescent lights, and they had thrown it out and put it in a recycling bin where wood should not be. But it's got this nice little wooden frame. It looks nice, and it has a really good diffuser. This is really, it's not quite opaque, and it's got a little crack on it, but it still seems pretty good. And inside it's got a little steel tray with little, these are just kind of stamped and put in with tabs, little fluorescent tube ends, and some ballasts. And I hope to remove this stuff and put the LED light strips in place of this. Unfortunately, there's only one of these little nut things. It's not even a real nut. I don't know how they could have possibly made this cheaper. There's only one of these things holding this together. And then this just slips out. If I bend this up, it'll just come out. We shall see. This is so thin you could actually bend it. Well, that's not too bad. These little automatic center punches make stuff like this handy. Go by easy. And you just push it on a little bit and go. These are step bits, and the cool thing about these is that you don't have to change drill bits, and they're good for sheet metal, not much else, because you can only drill this far. Also, these things tend to get really hot. This one is a cheap one, but it was actually titanium nitride coated, and I want to drill it out for this grommet so the wires don't get cut. This is a little, I call these twirly deburrs. These are actually rotary deburrs, and they've got a little triangle blade, and it's good for cleaning up the edges of holes like this. Let's go I've got to get all this swarf out of here, because if I leave this in here, it can cause a short circuit. I don't want that. There's an extraneous screw right here. So I'll need to throw it away. I'm sure I can find a use for it somewhere. Strippers come with a screw cutter, and you just kind of thread it in. You only have a couple choices, no metric on this. And you thread it in, and then you just squeeze it. Make sure you don't pinch yourself in here, because it's really easy to. And then take a screwdriver and you just back it out, and it cleans up the threads just enough so it still might work without grinding it or rethreading it. Nothing too fancy. I'm just using a washer to make sure it doesn't pull through the keyhole too easy. I have two pieces of cord. I've got the heavy duty or medium heavy duty 3 conductor plug marked with green for ground, white for neutral, and black for hot. Of course, with AC you can get shocked. You can get shocked pretty easy otherwise, but it's sometimes not fatal. Anyway, so I've got another short piece of cable to connect, or actually cord to connect these two. And I'll just feed it through that grommet, like so. And feed it in through this one, like so. And because the cord will be pulled on, I'm going to tie a knot for strain relief. A good old-fashioned knot. It's a matter of putting all the grounds together. All the greens, like so. And I've got 2 different size wire nuts. I'm using the big ones here. All the neutrals together, which still carry power even though they're neutral. Apparently in some circuits, I'm not a big AC house current person, but apparently in some circuits with polarized plugs that this neutral is tied to ground sometimes. I still wouldn't like to touch the thing, especially, and tie the hots together. So, if I'm going to be, if I find I'm going to be transporting this thing, I'm going to take these off and I'm going to solder them until heat shrink in it. I trust that more if it's going to be mobile, but for as long as it's going to stay in one place, it should be okay. And the idea of using what you have, I've got some old belts that I'm just going to take, and these are actually fiberglass reinforced and or Kevlar, and they're not going to break from this, so I'm just going to bolt them up. It's all about the mock-ups. Flip my camera for a second, like so.